New from 88 Films is Evil Dead Trap. Look at that cover. That's one of the deaths in the movie. I'd heard about this movie a lot and I really wanted to check it out, and I wasn't expecting it to have such an Italian vibe to it. It definitely seems to have been inspired by a lot of Argento and Fulci stuff, the movie, and this theme really struck me as something very familiar. I'm pretty sure I've heard it somewhere before. Could be City of the Living Dead. It's just one of those little thematic tunes that I know is either very familiar or something I've heard before. And the whole kind of idea here is we have a late night TV host who is looking for some kind of story to kickstart because the show's starting to dwindle in viewers. She needs something to kind of get an impact, and she discovers this video of what looks like herself being tortured and killed. And she decides to track down the place where this murder has partly took place and figure out what's going on. Unfortunately for her and a group of co-workers that she has brought with her, this turns out to be a trap set by a serial killer. Bloody deaths ensue. I kind of like the setup. It's fairly simple, kind of leads you into exactly what's going to happen. When you get to the spooky abandoned building, you know what's going to happen. When you get the crazed killer kind of stalking these people, you have a rough idea of what's going on. And all the way through this, I felt as if there was something supernatural going on though. And it's one of these movies where I'm not going to talk about the last 20 minutes where it gets completely bonkers, and I love that. But yeah, let's dive into Evil Dead Trap. So the idea and the atmosphere and the group of people that are sent here are really kind of fun. I liked a lot of the characters. They're not really fleshed out. They don't have to be, because I know most of them are going to be victims. We get them in there. We get them naked at certain points, having sex, getting ready to be murdered. And there are plenty of brutal deaths on display here. The gore and the atmosphere are two things that the film does exceptionally well. When it's not got these atmospheric scenes of horror or building tension or the gore or lingering on that, it becomes a little bit sedate in the way it's telling the story, because the characters, like I said, we don't really flesh them out too much because we don't need to, but they're not that interesting. So when they're having meaningless conversations or just wandering around, you're like, let's get to the fun stuff, because you know it's coming at some point. It's a movie that's about 1 hour and 40 minutes in length. Maybe just shaving 10 minutes off it would have made it all the more impactful, but I love some of the sequences that they do here. Some of the production standards are fantastic, using this abandoned building to great effect. There is a sequence where they walk in a room and there are all these TVs stacked up, and they use it a couple of times throughout the film, and it's such a wonderful and creepy effect. There is some terrific moments of tension which really push the boundaries of frustration. You know something's going to happen. You're worried about what it's going to do. There's a moment where our heroine goes to save someone. She's pulling on a door. A string is attached to a crossbow waiting to go off, pointing right at her. And it really plays with the viewer. And I appreciate that, because it ends not in the way that I expected, but then add something that's even better than that. I'm being a little bit obtuse here because I don't want to give away a lot of the fun stuff that happens in the movie, but this is definitely made by someone who is familiar with the genre and knows the best things to do about it. So whenever it gets to those building of atmosphere, creating the mood, the tension of someone stalking people. It's really great. It uses that flash photography of someone using a camera as a light to really great effect. When it has the gore and the blood and the guts, sure, some of it doesn't make a lick of sense, or as in how it's really happened, but I don't care, because I'm just having so much fun with this film. It is bloody, it's kind of languid at moments, it's got some nice character work, and I overall really enjoyed Evil Dead Trap. I'm so glad that I picked this up. Even happier now that I did pick up the sequel with this as well. Let's dive in, have a little look at some of the extras on this disc. Here we are in the disc for Evil Dead Trap. Let's go to the special features. We have an audio commentary by Jasper Sharp and David Flint. Then we have an interview with director Toshiharu Ikeda. And this is 31 minutes 50 seconds. You have a little introduction, given a history of the director by Jasper Sharp at the start. You get a little conclusion at the end, and the bulk of it is the actual interview itself. Then we have the trailer. We have the original storyboards, which is the picture gallery, runs for 6 minutes 2 seconds. We have a stills gallery and a behind the scenes gallery. And that's the extras for Evil Dead Trap. Evil Dead Trap, I would recommend this. This was a great deal of fun. If you're an Italian genre fan, you're going to find something here. If you like J-horror, you're going to find something that's quite enjoyable here as well. And I am going to rush on to the sequel to check out exactly what happens there. Because, yeah, I want to see who the killer is in that one. Say no more. I want to know your thoughts on Evil Dead Trap. So let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fell somewhere in the middle, whether you've seen the second one and your thoughts on it. Let me know. I'm curious. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manlyfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.